Never bend your head, always hold it high and look the world straight in the eye. These are the words of Helen Keller, and this is to say Happy International Women's Day in advance to all women. Tomorrow will be the D-Day, but today we'll be looking at some issues surrounding women in today's world. I'm Blessing Eichie, I'm a woman, and proudly I welcome you to the Friday's edition on the front burners and Suit News TV. My guys are here. Yes, they're guys, but they're happy that a woman is in their midst today. Dr. Dausa Osabanze and Krumale. Good morning.
Blessing, good morning. It's good for once to flip the chart. And well, we're on the other side today.
Yes.
I told Krumale yesterday I'm ready to pound the yam and make the soup.
Okay, no problem.
As long as you do the bills.
Just be good. Complete the goodness. Complete the goodness. Oh, yeah. No, now let's not go. Let's not go that way.
It's to flip
words. But somebody has been pounding the yam for years and making the soup, and has not been asking you to pay for that. When you go to a restaurant now, do you know how much chefs charge?
Well, it's not about.
Many men have free chefs in their homes.
So you want to be the chef today?
So no payments.
Good morning, everyone. Now, is there another International Women's Day again?
This month is for us.
Is there another one in the year?
Why? Why do you ask?
There should be, right?
Why do you ask?
I'm saying that because you guys have more than one.
See, it's all about us. It's all about us. The month of March is Women's International Month, so it's all about us. We can start from any day, but tomorrow is going to be the official International Women's Day, and so we're going to be highlighting key women issues today. Before we get to that part, you do know the drill. We'll start by bringing you something you don't want to miss. News analysis follows, and then we'll get to policy discuss before post and perspectives, and then we conclude with sports. So right away, let's get over to a woman's corner. On this side, where we look at some of the stories that have made the headlines, we begin with a story on Naira recovery, which says that the BDC operators, that's Bureau de Change operators, facing constraints buying Forex from banks, according to the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria. And then they have cried out, saying that they are constrained from purchasing foreign exchange from the banks. This is attributed to the recent situation where the exchange rate at the parallel market is trading lower than the interbank proceed sales to the BDCs. Again, the issue of Forex scarcity constraints in accessing Forex within the country has come to the front burners. When we discussed this last, we talked about how there was a situation when where the rates at the parallel market and the rates at the official rates came to the same level. They were at par the last time, but now the BDCs are saying that the rates at the parallel market is lower than what is obtainable from the interbank proceed sales, and that is making it difficult for them to buy Forex from the bank stock.
Well, I think the CBN has put mechanism in place to actually sell to some BDC directly, and they have allocation monthly. What that means is that all these concerns will have been factored in because they're getting same rate that a commercial bank is naturally getting. But I think in my view, yes, BDC are there and they are doing their role. And I think banks too, whose primary function is actually to do all these transactions, should be the one who actually have Forex to sell, and I guess so. Well, the system is full of blackmail and the rest of it, everybody negotiating for itself. But I think that they have cashed out enough, and it's not just time to complain.
Who are those that have cashed out enough? The BDCs?
Oh, yes.
Why do you think so?
Well, we're in this country where they were buying at 400 and selling at 1,005, so that's enough.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, of course, they made some profit. There's no doubt about that.
If people make profits over the years, doesn't mean that right now
the market is normalizing. I don't feel there's a need for concern as far as I'm concerned.
Ray, what do you think about the BDC situation At the time, the BDCs were asked to source Forex by themselves. Even when the CBN resumed allocation of Forex to the BDCs, it wasn't to all BDCs. Just about half of them were getting direct allocation from the CBN. But it seems that arrangement is not consistent.
Okay, so it is quite a very touchy
subject.
Yes, because when I saw, not even the subject, the body language of the scenario. First of all, the convergence of what was being sold of the costs in the parallel market and the official market. Then this is happening. So what are the banks? What are they trying to say? BDCs, you're selling too low, or probably at the moment now, those who are accessing that service do not come to the bank anymore. They don't come to the bank anymore because they can get it cheaper. So let's just say we have a lot of people now patronizing the BDCs. Maybe. And the banks want to make sure that, all right, let's starve you of a little of it so that we will make sure that it's a level playing field. Because the banks are not going to make it. They are not. If the parallel market is selling lower,
who would go to the bank to get Forex?
Who will go to the official market?
Considering all the orders you have to get.
Nobody will go there. That is why when we were speaking to, was it Dotun Adekunle the other day, and he was talking about how the Central Bank of Nigeria need to digitize the BDCs.
But the CBN had chosen to digitize the BDCs with the automation. The BDCs themselves had some complaints regarding the migration, the systems, and the training. From what they were saying, because we had that conversation, I think Doc recalls, we had that conversation with the president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, and he was asking who's going to provide the systems for this migration to automation, who was going to provide the training. And then the question is this: it's a business you're running. Does the CBN have to provide you with the systems? The training, yes, they could do that. The software, yeah, but you have to pay for all of that. So it looks like there is no cooperation from the end of the CBN to with the end of the BDCs with the CBN regarding automation.
It could be a matter of consensus, still negotiating though the delicacies, the delicate part of those, like who is going to pay for what, are we going to access the training?
Who's paying for the bank?
Are we going to pay for the training? So now,
that raises the question: who's paying for the banks to be automated?
Yes.
So who should also pay? The banks are paying. So the banks are paying. I think the BDCs should pay.
Who's training bank staff?
The banks are doing that.
So why should they become a concern?
Well, they are the authorities of the system. I mean, we are talking about the system of
the BDCs are not trading for free. It's a business. For instance, you have a business.
I'm not advocating that.
Let's even use the media sector for example. Now, when there was a move, there was a talk about moving to digitalization and how media stations should now use digital,
move away from analog
to digital systems. That cost was borne by the media stations themselves. The only thing is that there had to be some arrangement with NBC, considering the cost, so that the license renewal fee could, at that point in time, you should give them a break and consider that they are actually incurring some cost at the moment. So if BDCs can have that conversation with the CBN to say, for these systems that we are going to need to transition, perhaps are you going to give it to us as some discount so that every BDC would have that? But the challenge that you have is because you still have a lot of fragmentation within the BDC setting. You don't have, there's no big body carrying many of the operators. So it seemed like a very big expenditure for some of them to take on. And I think too, there's the unwillingness, because people have become comfortable having a practice a certain way. And digitalization would mean more transparency. You can actually see the trade that is ongoing. Who's selling what? Who's buying what? The volumes that you are dealing with. So if there's a certain volume that you are not allowed to trade in within a particular day, it reflects with the system. So when we talk about digitalization, when there's this reluctance, there are issues on every end, apart from the cost, because people do not want certain information, certain details to come to light. There is reluctance in actually going with it. So I think that if that automation had actually happened fast as the CBN had wanted it, all of these issues some of them would have been tackled. But they are also advocating now that the CBN give them a certain percentage from diaspora remittance directly to make it cheap for them to access Forex.
Right. Well, the thing is, there's a specific amount that the CBN sells to the licensed BDCs. So where do they access the other part of the dollar? Where did they access it from?
Nobody asked, because even when the CBN told them at some point to get Forex by themselves, nobody questioned how they were getting this Forex.
And also the other BDCs that are not being licensed to operate, that are on ground, operating consistently. Now, the CBN did not leave that sector open for any other person to operate. That means those who are operating, who are not licensed but operating, are illegal.
Yes.
So what are we doing to tame that part of the issue? Because that could equally be responsible for the excess of it in circulation, which in itself will affect the price both in the parallel market and the official market.
It doesn't seem like we have excess of it, because when the CBN did reaccreditation, they actually streamlined the numbers of BDCs that were licensed to operate, and then they reduced them to about 2,000, just a bit over 2,000. Allocation was to about 1,000 of them. So you still have 1,000 of BDCs not getting direct allocation from the CBN. That's even a challenge. Meanwhile, the ones that are getting direct allocation are not getting enough from the CBN. So they still need to make up for it through any means, which opens the door also to illicit financial flows, because you cannot question how you're getting the Forex, because there's the liberty to source Forex from anywhere. And so they will go to any length to source Forex from anywhere. And that's why they've been having Forex transactions, even when the banks do not have Forex. The BDCs are always having Forex. But right now, the challenge is, I think that that interbank sales is a challenge itself, because the banks will want to make some profit too. So it should be strictly direct allocation from the CBN, so that we don't have much of round tripping ongoing.
You see, it's simple. BDCs are not digitized. CBN can monitor what happens there. And until they are digitized and you have records of what they are doing, then we can know the actual demand for money. Because most of the times, all of these things we see around us is the fact that because you have a system that is so opaque, people do what they like they say, where there's no king, people behave the way they like. It's only the commercial banks, really, CBN can monitor to say, okay, who bought from you, what record of what is bought. So, because there's a problem that faced our forest market. And what was that problem? That people were storing value in dollars. They don't go to banks to buy those dollars. The BDC supply these dollars, even when they are not for immediate market need. So these are the things that need to be regulated. It's not to say, if people want to travel, okay, good. But you see that many people were storing value in dollars. And they can go through bank to say, okay, I need $10,000. Bank has a seal and a limit to which you can get. And even want to know where you are using this dollar for transaction. You have to fill the form. Now, what you find is that in BDC, you don't need to fill any form. You can say you want $1 million and they enter into the house and bring it out for you.
Willing buyer, willing seller.
So I don't think that is something that government should encourage until they have a hold on their control to be sure that we are not unnecessarily punishing ourselves because some people want to speculate currency and gain more value at the expense of the economy.
All right, let's leave that of the BDC alone and hope that the CBN will into it. If it means allocating to more BDCs to be able to monitor this and assist in any way possible, but make it a necessity, make it a necessary condition for the digitalization of operations of the BDCs so that there can be thorough scrutiny, transparency, and also proper regulation, which would help Nigerians in regarding the issue of Forex, accessing Forex for dealings, business dealings, and other necessary dealings.